Hi students, this is Dr. P. Amrutalakshmi, lecturer in charge of the Department of Botany, Government College, Autonomous, Anantapur. Today, we are going to discuss the most pressing environmental issues facing by the world, that is conservation of biodiversity. As you all know that biodiversity refers to the numbers, variety and variability of living organisms and ecosystems. There is an enormous variety and the high degree of species richness of plants and animals on earth. But today, almost all the ecosystems are undergoing change due to overexploitation by humans, invasive species, pollution and climate change. It is our moral duty to look after that the future generations should not be deprived from the economic and aesthetic benefits which they can derive from biodiversity. For sustainable development of a country, the conservation and management of natural resources is very essential. Sustainable development means the development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Biodiversity conservation can be defined as the management of human use of the biosphere so that it may give maximum benefit to the present generation while maintaining its potential to meet the needs and aspirations of future generations. Objectives of conservation are to preserve the diversity of species or the range of genetic variability found in all organisms of the planet. Number 2. Balanced maintenance of all essential ecological processes and life supporting systems. And number 3. Ensure sustainable utilization of species and ecosystems which support millions of rural communities and major industries all over the world. There are two methods of biodiversity conservation: in situ conservation and ex situ conservation. Conservation of biodiversity or genetic resources through their maintenance within their natural habitats or man-made ecosystems in which they occur. National parks, sanctuaries, biosphere reserves and protected forests are the means of in situ conservation. A national park is an area maintained by government and is strictly reserved for the welfare of wildlife, in which forestry, grazing, cultivation and habitat manipulation are not allowed. At present, there are 103 national parks in India. The first national park of India was the Jim Corbett National Park, established in 1936 near Nainital. Kaziranga National Park in Assam, Sundarbans in West Bengal, Kanha National Park in Madhya Pradesh, Bandipur National Park in Karnataka are some of the important national parks of India. This is the rhinoceros conserved in Kaziranga National Park. Sanctuary is a species-oriented protected area. For protecting rare and endangered wildlife forms, the sanctuaries are developed. Human activities such as harvesting timber, collection of minor forest products and private ownership rights are permitted so long as they do not interfere with the living conditions of the fauna and flora of the area. In Mudumalai Wildlife Sanctuary at Nilagiri in Tamil Nadu, elephants and four-horned antelopes are conserved. This is the Mudumalai Wildlife Sanctuary in Tamil Nadu. A biosphere reserve is not meant for protecting one or two more species but is meant for the protection of entire ecosystem of the area, that is totality of all life forms. In the biosphere reserve, the wild populations as well as the traditional lifestyles of tribals and varied domesticated plant and animal genetic resources are protected. A biosphere is thus ecosystem oriented. Biosphere reserves are useful in restoration of degraded ecosystems and habitats. There are 14 biosphere reserves in India. They are Nanda Devi in Uttarakhand, Nokrak in Meghalaya, Manas in Assam, Dibru Saikho in Assam, Dehang Debang in Arunachal Pradesh, Sundarbans in West Bengal, Gulf of Mannar between India and Sri Lanka in Tamil Nadu, Nilagiri in Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Karnataka, Great Nicobar in Andaman Nicobar and Islands, Simlipal in Odisha, Kanchenjunga in Sikkim, Pachmari in Madhya Pradesh, Agastyamalai in Tamil Nadu and Kerala, Amarkantak in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. Kutch cold desert, Seshachalam and Panna are the newly added biosphere reserves. This is the Seshachalam Biosphere Reserve in Tirupati. To protect our wildlife and forests, Indian Wildlife Act in 1972, modified later in 1976, was enacted as 42 Amendment to our Constitution. According to this amendment, cutting of trees in forests, hunting and killing of rare animals is prohibited and is a punishable offence. In India, many forests are recognized as reserve forests. Nallamalas, Pakal, Narsapur, Manyam and Adilabad forests are some of the reserve forests in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Hunting of animals like peacocks, deers and cutting red sandalwood trees are prohibited. These are some of the reserve forests. In situ conservation is the best strategy for protecting natural wildlife forms in their natural habitats. It is a perfect, elaborate and scientifically designed process. A suitable large area is selected first to protect the life forms living in that area. Each protected area is developed to protect a particular wildlife form. It is best suited for a long-term protection of biodiversity. It is cheaper to protect population in their natural habitats. Apart from the above said advantages, this type of conservation has got its limitations also. Many protected areas are not large enough to achieve the objectives. Many of these are not maintained properly due to the lack of staff who are qualified and trained, and no proper methods and strategy to protect them from environmental hazards like floods, forest fires, etc. Ex situ conservation means conservation of species, particularly of endangered species, away from their natural habitat under human supervision. In fact, ex situ conservation is a conservation in captivity under human care. Though in situ conservation is the best strategy for long-term protection of biodiversity, however, deteriorating habitat quality, competition from exotic species, overexploitation cause depletion of species. In recent years, UNEP, that is United Nations Environment Program, has increased the efforts and funding for ex situ conservation. In ex situ conservation, the endangered species of animals are reared under controlled conditions in zoo aquaria. Plant species are maintained in botanical gardens, gene banks. In India, seed bank, gene bank and tissue culture facilities are available at NBPGR, that is National Bureau of Plant Genetic Resources at New Delhi, and NBAGR, National Bureau of Animal Genetic Resources at Karnal, Haryana. A botanical garden is a place where many indigenous and exotic plant species are preserved, especially ferns, conifers and flowering plants collected from different parts of the globe. They enhance the greenery of a place and add much to the aesthetic value. They serve as germplasm banks and are important tool for conservation of plants. They are places for modern taxonomic research. Botanical gardens with glass house and greenhouse provide shelter to many rare and endangered plant species. Arboreta are the botanical gardens that specialize in trees. This is the Royal Botanic Garden, Kew, England, which is the world's best botanical garden. Here you can find the Victoria Amazonica leaves, commonly known as giant water lily, belonging to the family Nymphaceae. It has very large leaves up to 3 meters in diameter. Here you can find the glass house also in this picture. Gene banks are the institutes that maintain stocks of viable seeds, live growing plants, tissue culture and frozen germplasm with the whole range of genetic variability. These are a type of biorepository which preserve genetic material. Freezing cuts from the plant or stocking the seeds could be used. In plants, genetic material in a gene bank is preserved at -196 degrees Celsius in liquid nitrogen as mature dry seed. Seed banks, orchids, tissue banks and pollen banks are the types of gene banks. Seed banks preserve dried seeds by storing them at a very low temperature. Certain possible strains and varieties of plants with recalcitrant seeds are grown in orchards. Recalcitrant seeds means seeds which get killed on reduction of moisture and exposure to low temperature. Buds, protocombs and meristematic cells are conserved in tissue banks through carrying callus formation, embryoids, pollen grain culture and shoot tip culture to preserve seedless plants and asexually reproduce plants at particular light and temperature in a nutrient medium. Pollen banks may be useful for species that do not produce orthodox seeds. Orthodox seeds are the seeds which can tolerate reduction in moisture content up to 5%. These are the tissue banks and seed banks. This is the cryopreservation gene bank in which seeds or embryos are preserved at very low temperature, usually in liquid nitrogen at -196 degrees Celsius. Coming to the advantages of ex situ conservation. The organism is assured of food shelter and security, and hence can have longer lifespan and breeding activity. Because of human care and secure conditions, they do not face the threat to life from other organisms, hence the survival chances increases. Ex situ conservation also provides the possibility of using genetic techniques to improve the concerned species, that is, application of biotechnology in conservation of biodiversity. Ex situ conservation has got its disadvantages also. They are: ex situ conservation can be adopted only for a few selected species because of limitations of space and facilities in the institutions that undertake captive breeding. Captive breeding do not provide opportunities for evolution of new wild species because of more chances for inbreeding. A number of government, non-government, voluntary, national and international organizations are actively participating in biodiversity conservation. They are IUCN, that is International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, United Nations Environment Program, that is UNEP, WWF, that is Worldwide Fund for Nature, National Bureau of Plant Genetic Resources, NBPGR. Thank you.